Hong Kong is located between the Philippines and Taiwan on China's southeast coast. It has four main areas: Kowloon, the New Territories, some 235 outer islands, and the island of Hong Kong itself. This little island covers some 80 square kilometers. Hong Kong has a population of more than 6 million people, making it the most densely populated area in the world. This is the central district of the island of Hong Kong. In 1898, Hong Kong was leased to Great Britain for 99 years. This lease will expire and a new agreement has been reached between China and Great Britain that will establish Hong Kong as a special administrative region of China beginning July 1st, 1997. The present social economic systems and lifestyles of the inhabitants are to remain unchanged for another 50 years. For the first-time visitor, the Hong Kong skyline is an awesome sight. I'm a native New Yorker and I'm accustomed to tall buildings and many people. But Hong Kong, which is about 1/2 the size of Long Island, continues to astound me. We are passing what is known as Hong Kong Central. Habitable land here is at a premium because of the steep mountains in the center of the island. Properties along the harbor are being filled to gain more usable land for new construction. Older 1- and 2-story homes are no longer cost-effective and are constantly being raised and replaced by these modern high-rise buildings. Here in Central, these buildings house large corporations, banks, offices, and some very expensive apartments. The boat communities of picturesque junks and sampans that for years lined the shore are slowly disappearing.
Close to 6 million people live here in Hong Kong, mostly Chinese. It is one of the most densely populated areas of the world. Today we're going to take a closer look at how so many people live in such close proximity and do quite well.
Everything is compact in Hong Kong. In fact, the city has surrounded Kai Tak Airport, forcing planes to come in just a few feet above the houses in busy shopping centers. Enterprising Chinese merchants take advantage of every available nook and cranny in Hong Kong, including the streets and sidewalks. Hong Kong has long been called the shopping capital of the world. Name brands in all languages are readily available here. To compensate for a lack of space, construction has gone vertical. Housing for the millions has literally gone up. These relatively low-rise apartments of the 50s and 60s are now being surrounded and gradually replaced by newer and taller complexes. These buildings look much worse than they actually are. The average summer temperatures are in the 90s, and it frequently rains. The high heat and humidity causes mold and mildew to grow rapidly on the white masonry exteriors.
Just minutes outside of Central, we have modern Hong Kong, a multi-story, multifaceted community. 70% of the people live on 25% of the land here. And as you can see, often it gets crowded.
In 1949, 1 million refugees escaped the Chinese Communist Revolution and came to Hong Kong. The economic wealth created in their factories from 1950 to 1970 made Hong Kong a success. By the mid-1960s, Hong Kong city planners finally faced the reality that the population growth was much larger than the city had ever been designed for, and they began to include higher standards than the community was demanding. There is nothing intrinsically good or bad in high-rise housing. It all depends on the quality of design and condition of social development of the people to be housed. Fortunately, The Chinese people seem to even favor these close living conditions, and interestingly enough, most of the crowding is by choice. They have developed unique ways of managing their space and time. Today, more than 50% of the population lives in government-built high-rise apartments.
One of the great ways to get around Hong Kong is by the tram. Built in the early 30s, it's owned by Stanley Ho, the Macau tycoon. For 13 cents US, you can see most of Hong Kong Island. It's a great way to travel. See you later.
On the Hong Kong system of trams, one can travel from Chai Wan at the far eastern end of the city to Sheung Wan in the west. A subway system follows the same route. 2 tunnels cross under the harbor carrying subway traffic over to Kowloon on the mainland. It's an efficient system that successfully moves millions of people daily. The system works like this. The tram is entered at the rear. We can either try for a seat on the lower level or climb the steep little circular stairway to the top. We're more likely to get a seat on the top, and the view is better anyway. Fortunately for us, it's not crowded right now, so we can even see what the inside of the car looks like. During the rush hour, people are packed in here like thin little sardines. This is the cheapest and best way to see the city. It's also a good place to take snapshots. The trams stop every several blocks to pick up more people and allow pedestrians to cross. Keep in mind, this is light midday traffic. 70% of all travel here is made by public transport. Government policy actually discourages ownership of private vehicles through high taxes. There's simply no place to put cars here in Hong Kong. The traffic here flows in the reverse from American streets. The trams are brightly painted with advertising. It fits right in with the Chinese tradition of bright colors. You may have noticed the many buses on the streets. They travel in all different directions, so it's easy for the first-time visitor to get lost. On the other hand, trams go only east and west on their tracks, making sightseeing much easier. The Chinese are accomplished entrepreneurs. This lady makes a business of recycling cardboard boxes. We're heading west towards the city center, or Central as it's known here. All the taxis are painted bright red, making them easy to spot, and they're inexpensive to use. The green oasis on our right is Victoria Park. On Sunday mornings, you can find people of all ages getting together for aerobics and exercise fun. The traditional Tai Chi and similar activities are wonderful excuses to get out in the cool morning air. Buses and trams are constantly scurrying about the streets. They do a terrific job of moving the masses of Hong Kong. This is one of 2 tunnels that also carry the MTR, or Mass Transit Railway, under the harbor from Hong Kong Island to Kowloon on the mainland. The clamor of jovial street merchants serve up a kaleidoscope of smells and colors. This little shop just received a shipment of live snakes. They also sell lizard meat. The Chinese prefer all their meat freshly butchered or still wiggling if possible. Snake meat is a delicacy here. Well, it looks like it's going to be reptile soup tonight. We are constantly being tantalized by the smells of food being cooked and displayed right on the street corners. These little push carts are everywhere. One can get everything from octopus to fish balls. Nowhere on earth has street-side cuisine attained such heights. Apartments here are small, compact, and efficient. This means small refrigerators and tiny freezer compartments. As a result, people shop daily in the open-air markets when planning their evening meal. Everything is laid out for all to see. The butcher's shop doesn't need refrigeration. It's all sold out by supper time. Poultry is a mainstay in the Chinese diet. Here, you pick your live bird and it's butchered to order just the way you like it. These open-air shops are very appropriate with the high summer temperatures and humidity in Hong Kong. Well, you lucked out this time round, Mr. Duck. This market is in the shadow of some of the newest and finest high-rise apartments in Hong Kong. Here we find fresh fruits and vegetables of all kinds, and many you won't find in the average American produce department. Many of the vegetables are grown on the Chinese mainland and in the new territories. Many come from as far away as Australia, New Zealand, and America. The traditional Asian diet, consisting of rice, fresh vegetables, seafood, and poultry, is a very healthy one. This may be one of the reasons so many people can live successfully in tight quarters. Instead of huge supermarkets, Hong Kong has small neighborhood groceries the size of our 7-Eleven markets. This is where you'll find the familiar coolers filled with cheese and milk products, frozen foods, and canned goods. Obviously, the 6 million residents have different eating habits than Americans. Let's board the tram and continue on toward the high-rise district of Hong Kong Central. The success of this energetic city stems from an economic policy based on free enterprise and free trade. As proof, there are some 160 banks that contain this region's tremendous wealth. The refugees who escaped the Chinese Revolution and came to Hong Kong to begin their lives anew have proved to be an industrious workforce. The efficient seaport and container shipping terminals, along with its geographical position relative to North America and the traditional links with Britain, have all contributed to Hong Kong's success. The buildings here in Central may be new, but these tram tracks could sure use some work. All of the utilities are underground here. This may be one reason why the streets are in constant state of repair. We have reached the gleaming white towers of Hong Kong Central. The many pedestrian walkways over the streets improve the flow of the thousands of workers in the central area. This is a city of exciting contrasts. Just moments ago, we were in a world of pushcarts and street vendors. Now we're surrounded by the epitome of Western culture and architecture. Ah, so this is the fellow that's been guiding our lurching tram through the streets of Hong Kong. What an exhausting job, and this isn't even rush hour. The trams are for the masses, but interestingly, there are more Rolls-Royces per capita here in Hong Kong than in any other city on the globe. The saying goes, if you don't find it in Hong Kong, it doesn't exist. Every commodity in the world is here. If one shop doesn't have it, the next one will. You'll find over 50,000 of them heaped with the treasures of the earth. If it's clothing you like, all the famous designer labels can be found. Or you can replenish your wardrobe with the famous Hong Kong hand-tailored suits or dresses. And don't forget the handmade shoes. For the gourmet, Hong Kong is sure bliss. Here you'll find any cuisine you like from some 30,000 restaurants on both sides of the harbor, all devoted to the pleasures of the table. Well, it looks like our stop is coming up. We'll work our way to the front of the tram and drop $1 Hong Kong in the box on the way out. Let's get off and take a closer look at this area that has some of the most interesting architecture on Earth, right here in Hong Kong Central. This is definitely a city on the rise. Nestled down in between these modern towers, you can still find the traditional open-air markets that the Orient is so famous for.
When you come to Hong Kong, as you see, everybody has a cellular phone. Small, big, large, doesn't matter. You have to have one. Stay in touch with your friends. They're quite cheap, and you see they're quite popular.
Yes, I won't forget this.
Look anywhere in Hong Kong and you'll see new construction. Take, for instance, right over there. It's the new Citibank building. And behind me, the Bank of China building, the world's most expensive bank. If you're not careful here in Hong Kong, you'll blink your eyes and a new building will go up overnight. Just take a look.
The construction industry in modern Asia is using some ancient techniques that work quite well. These tall structures are surrounded by scaffolding made of bamboo. It's amazing to see workers scurrying up and down the side of a 40-floor building carrying their tools and paint buckets. They hang from the poles like monkeys that belong to the Carpenters Union. The main sources of employment are commerce and light industry around the harbor and shores. If it wasn't for this deep water port, Hong Kong would not exist. Now one of the best examples of capitalism is going to be turned over to the world's largest communist state. I'd like to think that these thriving cities will survive, and perhaps even set the course for mainland China.
Hong Kong's an unbelievable place. Limited pollution, no graffiti. 6 million people rely on buses, transportation, ferries, taxis. Seems to work well. What's going to happen in 1997 when the Chinese take over? No one will know.